11 News starts with breaking news.
Breaking right now, new COVID-19 cases in Allegheny County jump the record high by nearly 100 cases.
Yeah, on Sunday, 527 new cases were reported, but today the health department says it's learned of 620 new cases since yesterday. 37 of the positive test results are more than a week old. The positivity rate of the total tested, more than 22%. The county has also learned of 2 additional deaths. And the state just announced its highest daily increase, 6,339 additional positive cases since yesterday. Allegheny County leaders are set to hold their weekly COVID-19 briefing this afternoon, and we'll see if any new restrictions are planned. You can look for breaking details tonight at 5 on Channel 11 News. And breaking right now, shocking felony charges just filed against the agency that provides drinking water to Pittsburgh and surrounding communities. Federal investigators say the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority intentionally, illegally dumped sludge into the Allegheny River and filed false reports about it to the EPA for over 7 years. We've been listening into a news conference by federal investigators that just ended moments ago. As a result, the agency will be fined $500,000 and won't be allowed to raise rates to pay for it.
PWSA was not permitted to discharge clarifier sludge into the Allegheny River, but that's exactly what they did for over 7 years.
One individual, a former supervisor at the Aspinwall treatment plant, was also indicted. We're continuing to go through the details of this that were just released in the last few minutes. Watch for the full story on Channel 11 News starting at 5.
In the last 24 hours, Pennsylvanians have been figuring out how new state measures to control the spread of the virus are impacting them. And one of the biggest changes is an expanded mask mandate. That order calling for masks to be worn indoors, even if you're physically distant from someone you don't live with. This means you are being asked to wear a mask inside your home if you have a guest. When asked if those measures were more of an expectation, Health Secretary Dr. Rachel Levine said no, they are a requirement.
We all are blessed to have freedoms in our country, but with freedom comes responsibility.
The order also applies to stores, schools, gyms, restaurants, and bars. Plus, there are new travel mandates. If someone from another state plans to visit you, health officials want them to be tested 72 hours prior to entering Pennsylvania. It also applies to you if you leave the state and then you come back to Pennsylvania. Right now, this is on the honor system. There are not plans to have people waiting at the state's borders or airports to make sure people get tested.
The rush for a vaccine has taken another big step. Pfizer and BioNTech have released the final analysis of their vaccine candidate and say it is 95% effective. The companies say it was consistent across all race, ethnicities, and age demographics. They also say the vaccine was well tolerated and no serious safety concerns were observed. They plan to submit a request to the FDA for an emergency use authorization within days. A big hurdle in getting COVID under control has been testing, and the long wait for results now with a new at-home test, though, has just been approved. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond has more on how it works, and she spoke with a local doctor about how it could change everything.
If you've ever taken a COVID-19 test, you know there's a whole lot of waiting, but one company managed to cut the wait time down to just 30 minutes. And you don't even have to come to a specific testing site. You could do it yourself right from your own home. The Food and Drug Administration authorized emergency use of the first at-home rapid COVID-19 test kit. It's called the Lucira COVID-19 All-in-One Test Kit. The kit includes a sterile swab, a sample vial, a test unit, batteries, and a plastic disposable bag. The FDA says you swab your nose, put that into the vial. Then lights labeled positive or negative show up on the test unit in 30 minutes. UPMC infectious disease physician Elise Martin feels optimistic about this new test.
Anything that we can do to help get high quality testing to people who are symptomatic and need testing, the better. And so I think anything that we have to have more options, I think that's really a very positive thing for our community.
The FDA did not reveal the test accuracy or the study results that led regulators to put a stamp of approval on it. You'll need a prescription for it. That'll most likely limit its use initially. The FDA also authorized the test for use in doctors' offices, hospitals, urgent care centers, and emergency rooms. So far, the FDA has authorized nearly 300 coronavirus tests. Only a handful of them let people like us do it ourselves. So when will this be available and how much will it cost? I'm looking at getting the answers to those questions, and we'll let you know when I find out starting at 5. Reporting in Crafton, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
And breaking now, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference has canceled its winter sports season. Several local colleges are part of the PSAC, including California University of Pennsylvania, Clarion University, and Slippery Rock University. Last week, the board agreed to proceed with the intent to play a full regular and championship season for all spring sports in 2021. A big chill, more like December weather today.
And meteorologist Danielle Dozier has the details down. Her forecast in Severe Weather Center 11. Danielle?
It is a cold one out there for sure. As we take a look over the city, it's 36 degrees. We have plenty of sunshine breaking out, but the wind chill is down to 31 with a wind that's still light at 6 miles per hour. Our visible satellite shows the cloud cover we had out there earlier this morning. That cloud cover is fading fast, and we've got a good deal of sunshine working its way in for all of the area today. It's 38 right now in Washington, 36 in Greensburg. If you need to rake your leaves this afternoon, you're going to need to have the big coat on when you do it. The temperature will only climb to about 40 degrees despite the sunshine, and also looking at a cold night ahead with those light winds. We'll talk about your Thursday morning forecast and a big rise in the temperatures and who could see the 60s in the next couple of days. Coming up.
Thanks, Danielle. Police are looking for the person who shot a woman in Monessen. The woman was shot at around 9:30 last night on Summit Avenue. We found police in the front yard of a house that was taped off. We also saw a black SUV being towed away. Monessen police tell us they don't have anyone in custody at this point. The victim was taken to the hospital in stable condition. A judge rejected a Penn Hills man's appeal that claimed his twin brother was responsible for a deadly shooting. A Westmoreland County judge said there's no evidence to support Daryl Tolbert McGee's claim, calling it without merit. Here's a side-by-side picture of the brothers. Jurors deliberated for 2 hours before convicting Tolbert McGee in January. Daryl's brother, Dwayne, was shot and killed about a year after the 2017 Jeanette shooting that Daryl was convicted of.
State police in Fayette County are investigating an attempted child luring. They say a driver in a maroon Toyota Camry ended up on a dead-end street in Point Marion last Tuesday and started talking with a 9-year-old boy. The driver took off after the child went inside and told his mom. State police are asking neighbors in the area of Grant Street to share any home surveillance video they might have from last Tuesday. Hours before the start of his misconduct trial, Allegheny County Judge Mark Tranquilli resigned. Tranquilli is accused of making racially insensitive or harassing comments on 6 separate occasions. An investigation began in January after he was accused of calling an African-American juror Aunt Jemima.
The Pennsylvania Supreme Court has rejected a lawsuit brought by President Donald Trump's re-election campaign. The campaign had argued its watchers were stationed too far away to actually see the process of counting votes. But the High Court said it's up to counties to decide where poll watchers can stand, and all the law requires is that watchers be in the same room as those counting ballots. And the president has fired his top cybersecurity official who claimed the election was the most secure in American history. On Twitter, the president directly tied the firing of Chris Krebs to his statement last week that said there was no evidence of changed or compromised votes. As for President-elect Biden, he is still being denied access to top-level intelligence briefings incoming administrations normally receive. This includes President Trump's plan to withdraw large numbers of U.S. troops from Afghanistan and Iraq. On Tuesday, Biden met with diplomatic, intelligence, and defense experts from outside the government.
You want a peaceful transfer of power, and you want the new team to succeed. We don't have any of that right now.
Despite the delays, the president-elect is moving forward, naming more members of his senior staff. Many of them are women, reflecting promises of diversity.
More on the Pentagon's plan to reduce troop levels in Afghanistan and Iraq to 2,500 by January, a move the Trump administration has signaled for months. NBC's Richard Engel has developing details.
President Trump's newly reshaped Pentagon, which has seen loyalists promoted to the top ranks, announced it's drastically scaling back troop levels in Afghanistan and Iraq on the outgoing president's orders.
President Trump ran on a promise to put a stop to America's endless wars.
Troops in Afghanistan and Iraq will go down to 2,500 by mid-January. For Afghanistan, that's nearly a cut in half. Just after the announcement, rockets crashed into Baghdad's green zone. The Shiite militias that fire them clearly wanting to show they're victorious, that they're responsible for driving the drawdown. It's clear because in Afghanistan, the same thing is happening. The Taliban there are claiming victory too, that they forced a pullout.
It's highly irresponsible for a sitting president in the waning days of an administration to take such dramatic steps and actions.
The withdrawals, signaled for days, have been criticized even by some of President Trump's allies.
I think a precipitous drawdown in either Afghanistan or Iraq would be a mistake.
It's also exactly what President Trump swore he'd never do.
I've said it many times, how counterproductive it is for the United States to announce in advance the dates we intend to begin or end military options.
Several former U.S. military officials tell me this is all about legacy building for President Trump, and they say that's no way to manage issues of war and peace. Richard Engel, NBC News, London.
Coming up, your neighborhood temperatures as you walk out the door tomorrow morning, and how long we're going to keep this big warm-up we have going in our forecast.
Well, none of that in our forecast just yet, but PennDOT is ready. What they're doing now to keep you safe in the snow this winter.
When I got home, he saw me get home. He saw me push the doorbell camera. He knew I was here.
Someone used her doorbell video camera to spy on her. She takes us through the scary prank that sent police to her home. The head of the Pennsylvania NAACP says there's more work to be done after a local high school marching band was punished for what appeared to be a racially insensitive stunt. The Peters Township High School Marching Band is now banned from taking part in any Whitfield events for 6 months. It comes after 2 drum majors wore full-body black spandex suits during an October 30th playoff game against Woodland Hills. The school said it was insensitive and resembled a blackface.
Let's be clear. Those kind of situations, particularly in the high school, is incredibly alarming because that is a taught behavior. That's a learned behavior.
Houston says this isn't the first time his organization has received complaints about Peters Township when it comes to race relations, and he told us his group is sending a letter to the district offering them help with a racial sensitivity program for students. Kennywood will have a chaperone policy for next season. Starting in the spring, all guests 17 years old and under must be with an adult chaperone starting at 4 o'clock. The chaperone must be at least 21 years old and must remain with the underage group during the entire visit. Kids entering earlier in the day must be joined by a chaperone at 4 p.m.
More kids in Pennsylvania will get presents for the holidays thanks to police and a fraud suspect. Thousands of dollars worth of toys were stacked up in the Central Berks Police Department near Philadelphia. Investigators collected the toys as evidence as part of a gift card scheme. Local charities say couldn't come at a better time.
Families that we are getting is 2.5 times than what we normally get, because there's a lot of agencies and churches that are closed. So we're now taking on their families.
Investigators worked out a deal with the suspect's lawyers. They agreed to drop state charges against him if he donated all the toys. He does still face federal charges.
Still have more than a week before Thanksgiving, but the state says now is the time to get your wine and liquor before the holiday season starts. The agency says November, December are the busiest months at fine wine and good spirit stores, so they say make a plan early to prevent crowded stores and keep staff and other customers safe from COVID. The liquor stores will still have capacity limits throughout the holiday season.
Tires spinning in the snow, cold weather today. It won't be too long before we may have to deal with some snow days. So are you ready for winter? PennDOT is. Channel 11's Mike Holden got a look today at how it's preparing for the first big storm.
It is hard to believe, but winter is right around the corner, and PennDOT officials tell us they're ready. That means they have a whole lot of salt just like this on hand to keep you and your loved ones right out of harm's way. The roads may be dry and relatively less crowded at the moment, but PennDOT is working behind the scenes to perfect their winter safety plan. In fact, they say that plan has been ready since summertime. Channel 11 got an up-close view of their trucks and tools to combat the ever-changing conditions. PennDOT is now operating with a more than $220 million budget statewide this year. For this winter's operations, locally, they'll have 124 plow trucks on the road with more than 57,000 tons of salt and 101,000 gallons of brine. They admit this winter season is unlike any before. They're expecting less drivers on the road due to the ongoing pandemic, plus some additional travel restrictions. But they say it doesn't mean you should let your guard down, and they won't either.
We are expecting less people on the road due to COVID throughout the winter season, whether it's just because they're traveling or they're not traveling for social distancing reasons, or they're teleworking. But regardless, please slow down, be safe, and avoid aggressive driving. We're seeing a lot of aggressive driving this time of year because there are less vehicles on the road.
And PennDOT says across the Commonwealth, 4,700 workers will be on the road working to keep you and your loved ones safe. But the big question, how are they being safe and what are they doing to protect themselves from COVID-19? We're breaking down that part of the story for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, good afternoon. Taking a look at our forecast for today, we have that sunshine that's been breaking out. We say decreasing clouds. There are some of you up across our far northeastern counties that may still be dealing with a little bit of cloud cover, but we'll have light winds today at 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the west. Tonight's going to be a cold night for us. Our lows are going to be falling down into the upper 20s in Butler and Indiana, 28 in Washington, and about 30 degrees in Pittsburgh and in Uniontown. But But here comes a huge jump up in the temperatures as we head into the day tomorrow, and it's really not going to feel like December like it does out there today. I mean, our temperatures should be in the upper 40s and low 50s this time of year across the region, but in the next couple of days, it will definitely be a lot warmer with temperatures climbing into the lower 60s and well above average. Here's your forecast for tomorrow, hour by hour, as you head out the door. You're going to need your coat in the morning, but in the afternoon, the temperature will already be pushing the mid 50s at the lunch hour, and I think we're going to have some high level cloud cover throughout the day tomorrow, but plenty of sunshine to go around, and our temperature will climb to about 62 degrees in the afternoon, and then by 5 o'clock we'll be right back down into the upper 50s. So get outside if you can tomorrow, get some fresh air. We've got about 61 in Washington, 62 the forecast in Uniontown, and Morgantown checking in down there at 63 degrees. Now over the next couple of days, I wanted to pinpoint your leaf raking forecast. Now out there today, I mentioned earlier, it's a good day to do it, albeit it's going to be cold, but the winds will be light. Tomorrow we're looking at breezy conditions. Friday could be a bit breezy as well, and then Saturday is looking less windy. Here's your wind forecast hour by hour for the day tomorrow. We start in the morning and those winds begin to pick up right around 5 to 15 miles per hour sustained. Once we get into the afternoon, they're going to be even higher. You can see the legend there with the color scheme, and the winds are going to be up around 10 to 20 miles per hour sustained as we head toward the afternoon, and they could gust even higher to 25 miles per hour. So Severe Weather Team 11 will be tracking those winds for you. That might make it feel just a little bit cooler for Thursday, but really you can't beat 62 degrees here in mid-November. Friday is about 60, partly sunny. The low temperatures will be coming up into the middle 40s. Then we head into your weekend, and the latest data for Saturday is trending a little bit cooler with a high temperature of 56. Also a little more cloud cover as a mostly cloudy sky comes into the picture. Sunday 62, so a nice warm up into the forecast. Coming up in the next half hour, I'm putting together a map right now that's going to highlight when our next chance for rain will be moving into our area.
Pennsylvania just beefed up its mask mandate and some other restrictions, but right across the border, a curfew is about to go into effect. The governor there talks about his tough decision.
He said, I need you to walk outside. SWAT team is surrounding your house or your neighborhood.
Someone called SWAT to her home thinking it was funny how he used her video doorbell to spy on her.
Well, you may have heard the term swatting. It is when someone calls a SWAT team to your home for no reason.
Well, now a Florida woman is speaking out to let others know how terrifying and dangerous the prank can be and how a hacked email account led to the scare of a lifetime.
He said, I need you to walk outside. SWAT team is surrounding your house or your neighborhood.
This video shows the moment Sarah Courtney walked outside looking for SWAT teams.
SWAT team and cop cars came down the road from both sides.
Officers told Sarah they got a call something awful had happened to her.
Someone had called them and said they were my husband and said that they caught me having an affair and had murdered me.
The false report ended up being a case of swatting.
Who would do this? Like, why me? Why would someone say my husband killed me?
And as police finished searching the home, they realized they were being watched through the Ring doorbell camera.
You guys better walk away. This person who had been watching this through a live view addressed the cop and just started saying some vulgar stuff.
Yo, what the? Hello?
Sarah's email and Ring app was hacked, giving the suspect total control over the doorbell's camera.
Yo, what's up?
When I got home, he saw me get home. He saw me push the doorbell camera. He knew I was here.
Security experts say the password was the problem.
It's kind of easy for the hacker once if you're using the same password. It defeats the purpose of having a password.
He says if you have a Ring doorbell, make sure you have 2 layers of security that will notify you if someone else logs in.
Just go through the motions of that. So normally you'll set up like another way of authentication, like, they will send you a text with a number every time you log in.
In a statement, Ring said they do not have evidence their doorbell camera was compromised, just the woman's email account.
That is scary. Many people have been saying no to masks. Well, now there are new mask rules. The message from one local lawmaker who is still dealing with symptoms weeks after getting COVID.
We're dry today with that sunshine peeking out. However, we do have some rain in the long-range forecast. I'll let you know when that arrives coming up.
Chilly weather again today.
It really is, but a warm-up is on the way. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier has her forecast for us in Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, if you're heading out anytime soon, you're going to need those coats. The temperatures are still in the middle 30s, with the exception of Beaver, almost to 40, but it's 36 in Pittsburgh, Butler, and Greensburg right now. Winds up around 5 to 10 miles per hour, makes it feel like 28 in Greensburg, 31 that feels like currently here in the city. And this afternoon, if you're out walking Fido, we're going to have that sunshine, so you're going to need your sunglasses, but keep the coats with you because about 40 degrees is all we get to today with that sunshine. As the sun goes down, we're going to keep a clear sky with the temperature falling to about 36 degrees through 8 p.m. Now, coming up, as promised, we will take a look at when you're going to need your umbrella again. Plus, I'm tracking how many 60-degree days we can put together in a row. That's still to come, guys.
All right, thanks, Danielle. More now on new efforts to control the spread of coronavirus. The state's new restrictions will impact mask wearing and travel as we head into the holidays. The order calls for masks to be worn indoors, even if you're physically distant from someone you don't live with. This means you're being asked to wear a mask inside your home if you have a guest. Wear a mask outside if you cannot stay 6 feet away from someone not in your household. And starting on Friday, COVID tests will be required if you leave the state unless it's for work or medical treatment. You'll need a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours before returning to Pennsylvania.
As the state strengthens its mask mandate, many people have been pushing back against that guidance for months. Channel 11's Ryan Houston spoke to one Westmoreland County commissioner who has battled COVID-19 and hopes people will take the new orders seriously.
Has mask wearing become political in Westmoreland County?
I think mask wearing in Westmoreland County has been political for some time.
Westmoreland County Commissioner Doug Chu says he's seen a lot of people in his area not wearing masks, but recently he said something has changed.
While I was shopping at Lowe's and some other stores, I did think that there were a lot more people mask wearing than there had been, say, a couple of months ago. I think the spike in cases has caused a number of people to want to wear a mask.
Commissioner Chu knows the importance of wearing a mask. He tells Channel 11 both he and his wife had COVID-19. He says his symptoms were mild, but things were a lot different for his wife, Cindy. And even several weeks later, he's still dealing with symptoms.
The one thing that's been lingering, as it is for many people, is I still feel exhausted.
Commissioner Chu says he's sharing his story in hopes that the people of Westmoreland County will listen to the new orders handed down by the Secretary of Health, Dr. Rachel Levine. Ryan Houston, Channel 11 News.
A statewide curfew goes into effect in Ohio tomorrow. It runs from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. for the next 3 weeks. Governor Mike DeWine said after 3 weeks, they'll revisit the plan and see whether they need to extend it. DeWine said state leaders wanted to avoid a total shutdown, and the curfew will help hospitals from getting overwhelmed. He says he understands the decision is going to get a lot of blowback.
There are some people who are tweeting and who are saying that DeWine is a dictator and a tyrant in doing this. I've said this before, but most of what I'm doing and the choices I'm making are between two bad decisions. Which one's worse?
Anyone who violates the new curfew could be fined up to $750 and even spend 90 days in jail.
Oakmont Bakery is closing its indoor dining area until further notice. Customers will still be able to pick up their takeout orders in the cafe from 8 until 3, and the bakery also offers a curbside pickup option. Some local restaurant owners are on their way to Harrisburg. They're going to be part of a big rally on the Capitol steps this afternoon, calling for help to save the industry. And it's a dire situation. Your favorite bar or restaurant is struggling to stay open. Some say the industry will not survive this winter without financial support.
It's my industry, it's my life, it's who we are, who I am. I get phone calls from other restaurateurs every day, and everyone is frankly scared to death of it.
Today's rally will call on lawmakers to provide support and aid to the entire hospitality industry. Last month, Governor Wolf announced plans to waive some 2021 licensing fees to help struggling bars and restaurants. It will save businesses hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars. Around 60% of bars, restaurants, clubs, and caterers are eligible.
Continuing coverage on another big vaccine announcement. Pfizer and BioNTech say their vaccine candidate is 95% effective and ready for the FDA to issue an emergency use authorization. Our Jacqueline Fell updates us on the testing advances and the race for a vaccine.
Drug maker Pfizer says final testing results show its coronavirus vaccine is 95% effective and safe. The company says it's days away from asking U.S. regulators to allow emergency use of the vaccine. Pfizer says it expects to produce up to 50 million doses of the vaccine by the end of the year and more than 1 billion by the end of next year. Officials warn, though, any vaccine won't be ready in enough time to get us through winter, when infections are expected to spread quickly. The national average has now climbed to nearly 150,000 a day, with 1 million new cases added in just 6 days. The Food and Drug Administration has authorized the first prescription at-home rapid COVID-19 test. The test can be used by people who are at least 14 years old when their health provider suspects they have the virus. The test involves swabbing the inside of your nose with results in 30 minutes or less. Reporting outside Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
The merger of Canonsburg-based Mylan with the Upjohn division of Pfizer is now complete. The new company is now known as Viatris. The company's management team will remain in the Pittsburgh area. Other world headquarters are in Shanghai and India, and a research and development center is in Morgantown, West Virginia. We are taking you inside the area's newest casino. The safety measures put in place before the first bet will be placed.
Well, it won't open for another week, but yesterday a ribbon-cutting ceremony was held at the new Live Casino Pittsburgh. The casino at the Westmoreland Mall features 750 slot machines and about 30 live-action table games. The casino is taking safety precautions, including adding plexiglass dividers, temperature checks, and cleaning high-traffic areas. Lawmakers believe it's a great addition to Westmoreland County.
This is a great place to live. It's a great place to have your family, and now we have something that is really on top of the attractions we already have here, another big main attraction.
Casino has created more than 500 jobs. Again, it opens next Tuesday.
Home Depot is giving a raise to thousands of its workers. The company says it's been doing well during the pandemic with more people staying home and spending money on home projects. The company's stock is up nearly 25% this year. Now Home Depot is planning to invest $1 billion a year on increased worker benefits.
Some of these factory body parts are harder to get.
The pandemic could mean your car is in the shop for months. What you should ask for if you get stuck with a lengthy delay.
Maybe a little too cold to put up the Christmas lights today, but I'll let you know in the days ahead which day will actually be more favorable for doing it.
So a month had gone by, 5 weeks had gone by. My husband gives him a call, like, what's going on?
You can add delays to your car repair to the list of problems created by COVID. We are all just a fender bender or check engine light away from being impacted by a worldwide car parts shortage. Channel 11 consumer investigator Angie Moreski takes a closer look at what is causing the problem and what you can do about it.
When Krista McInnes and her husband bought this 2018 Ford Escape this summer, the last thing they expected before even making their first payment was car trouble.
Check engine light came on. So we thought, oh, it's a used car, probably the sensor went, nothing, not a big deal.
Well, it turned into a big deal when her husband was driving home from work.
The car actually stopped. It gave me an alarm that the car was overheated.
That engine light turned into needing a whole new engine from Ford. But COVID production issues in Mexico made getting one difficult.
It took 2 full months from the time we dropped it off to the time we got it back.
And similar delays for William Porter when his 2019 Chevy Trax had piston problems and turbo issues.
It's crazy.
His car was in the dealer's garage 32 days before it was fixed.
You're sitting there waiting on a car. You don't know when it's going to be done, and they don't know when it's going to be done. This is where we keep our parts for cars coming in and cars that are currently being worked on.
Auto repair shops are also frustrated with the delays.
Some of these factory body parts are harder to get.
The owner of Critchlow's Auto Repair says getting parts has been a challenge ever since COVID hit. What you can get and when is hit or miss, impacting both original manufacturer equipment and aftermarket.
Parts are delayed, some 15, some 25, 30 days.
This Dodge Charger has a badly damaged front suspension. Critchlow just ordered the parts for it. Some are on back order until mid-December. And this GMC Canyon truck, it's been here since mid-October, waiting for a grill, moldings, and front bumper parts that just finally came in. The problem has a lot to do with where a part is manufactured, not only production issues, but also shipping delays.
We're seeing they're made in Mexico. We're seeing some of them made in China, you know, Yugoslavia. I mean, they come from all over.
What do you do when a part just is not available?
Unfortunately, it's a waiting game.
Most places will provide a free loaner or rental while you're waiting, but that still doesn't make unreasonable delays okay. Breach of warranty and lemon laws offer you protection. What are your rights when it comes to car repairs?
If they can't fix your vehicle within a reasonable number of attempts, or if your vehicle is in the shop for an inordinate amount of days, 20, 30 days, they breach their warranty.
After 2 months in a rental, the Miskinuses and their dog Nikki are just glad to finally have their own car back.
I'm exhausted with COVID.
They just want this whole ordeal behind them. One takeaway tip, if you end up dealing with a car repair delay, always ask for a rental, even if your insurance won't cover it. If the dealer won't provide one, call the manufacturer. They often step in to make it happen. We'll have more tips for you, plus more of my interview with the consumer lawyer on our app and website. Angie Moreski, Channel 11 News.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
Outside right now, it is cold. It looks good, though. Wind chill 31 and sunshine, west wind at 6 miles per hour. Here's a look at our storm tracker maps for the rest of the day today, and you're going to notice we have plenty of sunshine. We'll have a clear sky as the sun goes down. We'll keep that clear sky overnight tonight into your Thursday morning, so your Thursday morning commute's looking good. It'll just be cold out there. And our afternoon forecast for Thursday is also going to feature plenty of sunshine. Could build in some high-level clouds, though, from time to time. Tonight, we're looking at a low down to 30 degrees, a south-southeast wind at 3 to 6 miles per hour. So, again, you'll need the coat when you head out tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, if you have the day off or you have some downtime, you could have a car wash. You can go out and wash your car. We have temperature that's going to be climbing into the lower 60s in the afternoon. So here's the hour by hour, 1 o'clock, 59. 5 p.m. temperature right around 58 degrees. Of course, the sun is setting right around that time, this time of year now. So that's unfortunate for us, but our wind chill forecast for the day is looking pretty good. Our winds will be a little bit breezy in the afternoon, but because the air temperatures are coming up into the lower 60s, it won't quite feel as cold, of course, as what we have been dealing with. So the wind chill at 7 o'clock, 28 degrees. That's going to be cold, but the afternoon, mid-50s is what it's going to feel like. I think we can handle that, right? Here's a look at our forecast for Thursday and putting up the Christmas lights. I've got it set on if you have the time, just because we do have a little bit of a breeze coming into the picture. The temperatures will be cooperative and we'll have the sunshine, but a little bit of a wind out there might make it feel a little difficult. And then once we get toward the first part of the weekend, not going to be quite as windy. High temperatures tomorrow. 60 in Beaver, 61 in Washington, near 62 in Pittsburgh. Those winds, as I showed you in the last half hour, if you were tuning in, those winds will be up around 10 to 20 miles per hour in the afternoon, could gust up to 25 from time to time. Here's our next chance for rain and the outlook. It looks like it's going to be Monday for much of our area. But as you can see, I've got the temperature contour overlaid. So where you're seeing this green shaded color down here and across our area, that's kind of the milder weather. And you can see the blue shaded color up here. That's the cold air. And then here's that dark green shaded color as I put it into motion. That's going to be the rain coming across the area. And the reason I wanted to put the temperatures on as well is to show you that this does look like a rain event for us, because it will be quite mild out there when the rain moves in. But eventually some colder air will trickle in as we head into next week. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. And look how dry it is. We get into the weekend, a little bit cooler on Saturday, 56, the warmer of the two for your outdoor plans will be Sunday with a high near 62.
Thanks, Danielle. Now here's local steals and deals.
Hey, I have something that is perfect for right now. Gift giving season is upon us. And if you read all the articles, what they say is people today want experiences. How do you give someone an experience if they're not leaving the house? I can help you with that. This is the Arts of Christmas box, and it is actually kind of a virtual trip. It's an experience where you get to experience the Holy Land in ways that you never have before. And I love everything in here because everything in here is something you get to use and experience and learn and eat and taste and talk about and all those kinds of wonderful things. So this is Shava tea, peace and tranquility. It's a wonderful traditional tea in that part of the world. Shakshuka blend. This is a wonderful hand blend of 8 different spices that makes up a traditional breakfast dish in that part of the world that everybody talks about when they visit. This beautiful organic handmade soap. It's actually made by a mother of 3. And she went to school to learn how to make fine soap. She now sells them there in Israel, and now you can experience that here. This cross is made from olive wood that is 150 years old. Isn't that amazing? A game made by a grandmother to help her grandchildren experience that country. I mean, this amazing apple pomegranate honey spread that was made by farmers, and all kinds of great information. And this is something that you can give someone, and it is an experience. I was lucky enough to be able to help my parents take a trip to the Holy Land a number of years ago, and they had the most amazing time experiencing the culture and the history. To be able to give someone that experience without ever having to leave home and have it be something you can all do together. The whole family gathers around, you open up the box, you try everything, you talk about everything, and you learn about everything. I love that idea. Right now on localsteals.com, the Arts of Christmas box is 20% off, and it's an experience you will all remember and absolutely love.
Santa Claus joined Mayor Bill Peduto for the lighting of the Christmas tree at the City County building. The recorded lighting ceremony will be available on the city's social media pages and YouTube channel The 33-foot spruce was donated from the yard of Nona Lee in the Hill District. Thanks, Nona. Shaler has canceled its Light Up Night event. Organizers say the increasing number of positive cases of COVID have made the decision. It was scheduled to be held this Saturday and had included ice skating, a magic show, and a visit from Santa.
Well, you know, COVID can't stop Santa. For the last 65 years, the North American Aerospace Defense Command has tracked Santa around the globe on Christmas Eve, and this year will be no different. NORAD will monitor Santa as he and his reindeer make their whirlwind trip. There's one little change, though. Thousands of children have flooded NORAD with phone calls checking to see if Santa has gotten to their rooftop this year. Not every child will be able to get through. In years past, about 150 volunteers crowd into a large conference room to take the calls. This year, the number of volunteers has been drastically reduced to 10 people per shift. The webpage will be up and running, and of course, there's an app for that. Cat lovers, listen up. After doing some research, a former Amazon engineer who worked on Alexa has created a new app just for translating cat meows.
So yes, the name of the app is Meow Talk. What that research gave us was essentially 9 intents out of the box. These are general intents that all cats have, like I'm in pain, where's my mommy? I'm hungry, I'm happy, I'm gonna fight.
The language. As cat lovers know, cats have a vocabulary that they use to talk to us. The ultimate goal for Akvelan is or maybe it's AK Velan, I'm not sure, is a collar that will help you better understand your cat.
I'm angry. Leave me alone.
Well, that's pretty realistic, huh? The game changer is when it's at the door, it meows, and you get an alert on your phone, let me in. That's when it's amazing.
That's pretty neat. That brick you saw in the cat is just a prototype. The final draft is going to be much smaller. Development is still underway. Pretty cool.
I'm going to buy one for our producer. He has a couple of cats.
He loves his cats. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5.
Thanks for watching and have a great day.